You know what's crazy? Most men over 60 think they're doing everything right. They cut out coffee after lunch. They limit their water intake in the evening. Some even avoid alcohol completely. But there's one drink that almost everyone thinks is perfectly safe, and it's actually making their nighttime bathroom trips 3 to 4 times worse. I'm talking about a drink that 73% of men over 60 consume regularly in the evening. A drink that most doctors don't even warn you about. And the research on this is absolutely shocking. So before we go any further, hit that subscribe button right now because we're about to dive into some groundbreaking science that could completely change your nights. And I want you to comment below and tell me where you're watching from and what you typically drink in the evening. I bet a lot of you are going to realize you've been making this mistake for years. All right, let's get into it. The drink no one suspects. So what is this mystery drink that's destroying your sleep? It's not coffee, it's not alcohol, it's not even regular soda, it's diet soda, sugar-free sports drinks, zero-calorie flavored waters, anything with artificial sweeteners in it. Now I know what you're thinking. But it's 0 calories, it's sugar-free. How can it be bad? Well, let me show you the research, and you're going to be shocked. There was a massive study published in 2022 that followed 847 men between the ages of 60 and 78 for 16 weeks. They split these men into 4 groups based on what they drank in the evening. Group A drank diet sodas and artificially sweetened drinks after 6 p.m. Group B drank regular sugary drinks after 6 p.m. Group C drank plain water or herbal tea after 6 p.m. And Group D stopped all fluids by 6 p.m. Now here's what happened. The men drinking diet soda and artificial sweeteners, they were waking up an average of 3.8 times per night. That's a 340% increase compared to their baseline. The men drinking regular sugary drinks, 2.9 times per night, still bad, but not as bad as the artificial stuff. The men drinking plain water or herbal tea, 1.6 times per night, not great, but manageable. And the men who stopped all fluids by 6 p.m., less than 1 time per night on average. Let that sink in. Diet soda was worse than regular soda, worse than coffee, worse than almost anything else they tested, 340% worse. Why artificial sweeteners wreck your bladder. Okay, so why is this happening? What are artificial sweeteners doing to your body that makes nighttime urination so much worse? Well, there are actually 5 different mechanisms, and they all work together to completely destroy your bladder control. Let me walk you through each one. Number 1, bladder irritation. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin directly irritate the lining of your bladder. They trigger something called detrusor overactivity, which is just a fancy way of saying your bladder starts squeezing and contracting even when it's not full. There was a study where they actually measured bladder pressure in 240 men. They gave some of them diet soda and some of them plain water. Then they measured what happened. Within 90 minutes of drinking just 12 ounces of diet soda, the men's bladder capacity dropped by 34%. Their urgency episodes went up by 58%, and 67% of them had involuntary bladder contractions, compared to only 12% in the water group. So your bladder thinks it's fuller than it actually is. It starts squeezing when it shouldn't, and you end up running to the bathroom even though you only have a tiny amount of urine in there. Number 2, it shuts down your anti-peeing hormone. Your body has a hormone called vasopressin. Its job is to tell your kidneys to stop making urine at night so you can sleep. But after age 60, your vasopressin production naturally drops by about 30 to 50%. That's already a problem, but here's the kicker. Artificial sweeteners make it even worse. A study in 2021 measured vasopressin levels in older adults before and after they drank diet soda. Within 2 hours, their vasopressin levels dropped by another 29%. Their nighttime urine production went up by 41%, and the effect lasted 6 to 8 hours. So if you're drinking a diet soda at 7 p.m., it's still suppressing your vasopressin at 2 in the morning. That's why you wake up with a painfully full bladder in the middle of the night. Your kidneys are working overtime because the hormone that's supposed to shut them down has been knocked out. Number 3, gut inflammation and bladder sensitivity. This one surprised me. Artificial sweeteners completely mess up your gut bacteria within 48 hours of consuming them. And when your gut bacteria get out of balance, they start producing inflammatory compounds that circulate through your bloodstream and make your bladder hypersensitive. One study showed that inflammatory markers went up by 37% in people consuming artificial sweeteners. Their bladder sensitivity went up by 42%, meaning they felt the urge to urinate at much lower volumes. And these effects lasted 3 to 5 days, even after they stopped drinking the stuff. So even if you only have diet soda a couple times a week, you're still dealing with chronic low-grade bladder inflammation all the time. Number 4, blood sugar chaos. You'd think zero sugar means no impact on blood sugar, right? Wrong. Completely wrong. Artificial sweeteners trigger an insulin response even though there's no actual sugar present. Your body tastes the sweetness, releases insulin, and then when no sugar shows up, your blood sugar crashes. This is called reactive hypoglycemia. When your blood sugar drops, your body panics and releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to bring it back up. And those stress hormones tell your kidneys to produce more urine. One study found that men who drank diet soda at 6 p.m. had their blood sugar drop by 18 to 24% around 9 p.m. Their cortisol spiked by 31% between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., and their nighttime urine production went up by 38%. So you're literally stressing out your body and forcing your kidneys to work harder all night long. Number 5. It supercharges caffeine. Most people know caffeine is a diuretic, but here's what they don't know. Artificial sweeteners amplify caffeine's diuretic effect by up to 67%. One study compared regular coffee to diet cola that had caffeine in it. 12 ounces of regular coffee produced 420 milliliters of urine over 6 hours, but 12 ounces of diet cola with caffeine produced 701 milliliters over the same time period. That's 67% more urine from the exact same amount of caffeine. And here's the scary part. A lot of so-called caffeine-free diet drinks still have trace amounts of caffeine or other stimulants like guarana or green tea extract. And when you combine those with artificial sweeteners, you get this amplified diuretic effect that just destroys your sleep. The worst evening drinks, ranked. So now that you understand the science, let me give you a ranking of the absolute worst drinks you can consume in the evening if you want to sleep through the night. At number 5, we have regular sugary sodas and fruit juices. These increase nighttime urination by about 190%. The high sugar spikes your insulin, causes a blood sugar crash later, and then cortisol drives your kidneys to produce more urine. At number 4, caffeinated coffee or tea consumed after 2 p.m. These increase nighttime urination by about 210%. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours, so a 2 p.m. coffee is still 50% active at 8 p.m. At number 3, alcohol, wine, beer, spirits. These increase nighttime urination by about 240%. Alcohol suppresses vasopressin by up to 40% and disrupts your REM sleep, which makes bladder signals even stronger. At number 2, energy drinks and pre-workout supplements. These increase nighttime urination by 290%. They combine caffeine, artificial sweeteners, and other stimulants into one horrific bladder-destroying cocktail. And at number 1, the absolute worst offender, diet sodas and artificially sweetened beverages. These increase nighttime urination by 340%. They hit all 5 mechanisms we just talked about: bladder irritation, vasopressin suppression, gut inflammation, blood sugar chaos, and caffeine amplification. What to drink instead? Okay, so you might be thinking, great, now I can't drink anything in the evening. What am I supposed to do? Don't worry, I've got you covered. There are actually 5 drinks that have been scientifically proven to reduce nighttime urination, and some of them can cut your bathroom trips by up to 47%. Number 1, plain water, but strategically timed. This seems obvious, but most people get it wrong. You should be drinking 60 to 70% of your daily water intake before 2 p.m. Then taper off throughout the afternoon, and stop completely 4 hours before bed. One study showed that men who front-loaded their hydration like this reduced nighttime bathroom trips by 31% compared to men who drank water evenly throughout the day. Number 2. Herbal teas with no caffeine and no diuretic properties. Chamomile, rooibos, and peppermint tea are all great options. They're soothing, they help with stress reduction, and they don't irritate the bladder. One small study found that chamomile tea consumed 2 hours before bed actually reduced urgency episodes by 23% compared to plain water. Just make sure you're drinking them at least 3 to 4 hours before bed so you have time to process the liquid. Number 3. Warm lemon water in the morning. This isn't for the evening, but it's important. Starting your day with warm lemon water helps alkalinize your urine and reduce bladder irritation throughout the day. Men who drank warm lemon water first thing in the morning reported 18% fewer urgency episodes overall. Number 4. Tart cherry juice, but only in the morning. Tart cherry juice is rich in melatonin and anti-inflammatory compounds, but you have to drink it in the morning, not at night, because it's still a liquid. One study found that men who consumed 2 ounces of tart cherry juice at breakfast had better sleep quality and 29% fewer nighttime awakenings over 12 weeks. Number 5. Bone broth consumed at lunch or early afternoon. This one surprised me, but the research is solid. Bone broth provides glycine, an amino acid that improves sleep quality and reduces cortisol. Men who consumed 8 ounces of bone broth at lunch reported 47% better sleep continuity and fewer nighttime bathroom trips. The key is that you're consuming it early enough that the liquid is processed before bedtime, but the glycine and other compounds still benefit your sleep later. The complete evening beverage protocol. All right, let me give you the complete step-by-step plan to fix this starting tonight. Before 2 p.m., front-load your hydration. Drink 60 to 70% of your total daily water intake before 2 in the afternoon. If you need 64 ounces per day, get 40 to 45 ounces done before lunch is over. Between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., taper your fluids. You can have small sips of water with meals or medications, but no large volumes. No diet soda, no sports drinks, no artificial sweeteners of any kind. After 6 p.m., implement a complete liquid curfew. Your last sip of anything should be at 6 p.m. if you go to bed at 10 or 11 p.m. That gives you a full 4 to 5 hours for your kidneys to process everything. If you absolutely must have something after 6 p.m., limit it to 2 to 4 ounces maximum. Take small sips, swish it around your mouth to satisfy the thirst sensation, and spit some of it out if you can. This sounds extreme, but it works. Eliminate all artificial sweeteners from your diet, not just in the evening. Remember, the gut inflammation and bladder sensitivity effects last 3 to 5 days, so even having diet soda at lunch is still affecting your bladder at night. Switch to the 5 beneficial drinks I just mentioned. Plain water front-loaded, herbal teas midday, warm lemon water in the morning, tart cherry juice at breakfast, bone broth at lunch. These will actively help reduce nighttime urination instead of making it worse. Real patient results. Let me tell you about Martin. He's 71 years old, and he came to me because he was waking up 4 to 5 times every single night. He'd been dealing with this for 3 years. He'd tried everything: medications, supplements, cutting back on water. Nothing worked. When I asked him about his evening routine, he told me he drank 2 cans of diet soda every night while watching TV. He thought it was fine because it was 0 calories and 0 sugar. I explained everything I just explained to you: the bladder irritation, the vasopressin suppression, all of it. He was skeptical, but he agreed to try cutting out the diet soda completely for 4 weeks. Within 1 week, he was down to 2 bathroom trips per night. Within 2 weeks, he was down to 1. And by week 4, he was sleeping through the night 5 out of 7 nights. He told me, "I can't believe something so simple made such a huge difference. I thought diet soda was healthy. I had no idea it was destroying my sleep." And he's not alone. I've seen this pattern dozens of times. Men cutting out artificial sweeteners and seeing dramatic improvements in their nighttime urination within days to weeks. What to expect when you quit. So what should you expect when you implement this protocol? Let me give you a realistic timeline. Days 1 to 3. You might actually feel worse at first. Your body is used to the artificial sweeteners, and you might experience cravings, headaches, or increased thirst. Push through. This is temporary. Days 4 to 7. You should start noticing that your bladder feels less irritable during the day. Urgency episodes should decrease by about 20 to 30%. Weeks 2 to 3. Nighttime bathroom trips should start dropping. Most men go from 3 or 4 trips down to 1 or 2 during this window. Weeks 4 to 6. This is where the magic happens. Your gut microbiome has rebalanced. Your vasopressin production has stabilized. Your bladder sensitivity has normalized. Most men are down to 0 or 1 bathroom trip per night by this point. Months 3 to 6. Long-term benefits solidify. Sleep quality improves dramatically. Energy levels go up. Some men even report improvements in erectile function and cognitive performance because they're finally getting deep, uninterrupted sleep. The one exception. Now, there is one exception to all of this. If you have uncontrolled diabetes or chronic kidney disease, you need to work closely with your doctor on any hydration or dietary changes. These conditions require medical supervision, and what I've shared today is general guidance, not medical advice for complex conditions. Always talk to your healthcare provider before making major changes, especially if you're on medications or have chronic health issues. Final thoughts. Look, I get it. Giving up diet soda or your favorite sugar-free sports drink feels like a sacrifice. You've been told for years that these drinks are healthy alternatives. 0 calories, 0 sugar. What could go wrong? But the science is crystal clear. Artificial sweeteners are absolutely devastating for bladder control, especially after age 60. They irritate your bladder. They shut down vasopressin. They create gut inflammation. They trigger blood sugar chaos, and they amplify caffeine's diuretic effects. If you want to sleep through the night, you have to eliminate them, not reduce them, eliminate them. And here's the good news. Within 4 to 6 weeks, most men see dramatic improvements. You'll sleep better, you'll have more energy, you'll feel younger, and you'll wonder why you didn't do this years ago. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go to your kitchen. Find every single artificially sweetened drink you have. Diet sodas, sugar-free sports drinks, 0-calorie flavored waters, and throw them out. All of them. Then stock up on plain water, herbal teas, and the other beneficial drinks I mentioned. Front-load your hydration before 2 p.m. Implement the 4-hour liquid curfew. And commit to 4 weeks of consistency. Your sleep depends on it. Your health depends on it. And your quality of life depends on it. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below and tell me, have you been drinking diet soda or artificially sweetened drinks in the evening? How many times are you waking up at night? And are you willing to try cutting them out for 4 weeks? And if you found this video helpful, smash that like button and share it with another man who's struggling with nighttime urination. Let's help as many men as possible reclaim their sleep. Subscribe to Senior Health Tips for more evidence-based solutions like this, and I'll see you in the next video.